Now, like, I can equip that. No. Oh,
Because it takes 7.
yeah. Bump attack with you.
I guess at that point, Zap Tap is kind of pointless. Because the return postage is just better. And then you could take off the FP increases. Because the reason that the FP increases was if you fucked it up, you were going to Rally Wink.
Yes. And now I'm at a point where I generally, to be fair...
So, yeah, I guess just take those off then.
Technically, I don't need these, and if I get an extra level up, I can throw it. That was... No, my contingency was like, if I screwed the pooch, and I needed it, I could Rally Wink.
Yeah.
Return postage. But it still leaves me with 4.
I guess Zap Tap it up then. That
was an hour and a half, and I had to spend 10 minutes doing something before we fully recorded. Well, that was inconsequential.
Yeah, so that was the pit. What I was going to say, I remember the rumor for that being not just you could, like, return mail. It was that it let you do troubles again, and the reason you would want to do troubles again, you could get the rewards for the troubles.
My dad's back! Sorry for troubling you.
I wanted to bring that up because, you know, like, that shows you...
You solved the trouble.
I, like, wanted to bring up that rumor that...
Okay, like, that was literally basically about an hour and a half.
Yeah, but anyway, like,
if we're going to stop?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, like...
Before actually doing chapters, the only thing left to do would be, especially because you have a bunch of money, literally just go around getting a bunch of items and just cooking a bunch of shit.
But especially... I can't fully...
well, yeah, bump attack, you could, yeah.
No, especially... I want to show them.
Fuck you. That is my favorite.
Well, before completely stopping, I do want to... go check something, because I was curious. I can get another big FP.
It's also, like, another thing. I know some people would say that this would make it...
So, the one death, and that was just my carelessness, because I forgot about how the...
I know some people would probably say this.
I forgot the puffs, their counter damage was, like, 10 or 15. So it bypassed my, I wanted to go check Twilight Town to see if the revives are cheaper. And I can make probably another honey candy. We can't complete recipes until the end of the game anyway, because the last couple of things I need for recipes are but I open that. So yeah, the pit, under 2 hours. And I absolutely because I had the 2, I just had to focus. But because I had the, 2 badges on, the 2 simplifiers, I just beat Bonetail. Yarg! That was the super boss. And I just absolutely, I think the live streams are cheaper here.
Oh yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Would you look at that?
The candy was the honey serpent cake mix, right?
I believe something else.
Probably stop in a minute. This was an incredibly short recording, honestly.
The only, if I'm not going to play the chapter, the only things left to do would, again,
I kind of wanted the pit to be, with the pump attack again. Fuck you, bud.
Also, I guess, now that you have bump attack, is does that take priority over the chill out and stuff? Because, like, chill out and first attack and stuff, those would actually be redundant now.
I'm leaving those on for the 1 or 2 instances where I'm gonna need to remove bump attack to get a couple of tattles. Because the things I need to tattle, I can't. I'm laughing too much.
Yeah, you know, it's actually, that's another thing that you've gone through the pit. It's like a quick thing you could do is actually look at the tattle log to see all of like what's missing, because it really should not be that many enemies that are missing.
This was an absolute riot, though.
And that, I think it might, not counting bosses, I think it might be only around 9, like, enemies or so that are missing. Also, this is something I do find funny. Someone had a video of them using the slot machine to get max Pianta tokens. It caps at like 4 9s.
Yes. Yep, kick me 6. Okay.
I was going to say, if not recipes, the only other thing you could fill out, if you wanted to fill it out, is the game actually tracks all of the, like, badges where you need 1 of every badge type, so that would literally be...
It's going... Recipes we can't do yet. The reason we can't do recipes yet is the 1 or 2 miscellaneous ingredients I don't have access to. Because that's... If we're doing recipes, it should be probably before going in the 1,000-year door.
Yeah, I would say before Chapter 8.
Yeah, because there's Chapter 8. I mean, that should be kind of obvious.
The fact that, you know, we went through the panelists that encountered encountered enemies from Palace of Shadow.
Yeah. Honey. And
Cake mix.
I only had those extra FP on for 5 minutes just in case. Because if I screwed the boots, I was going to rally wing my problems away. What?
No.
Should be. Yep. Good. That's just the top off. Well, dude, I'll be stopping in a minute, man. Yeah, this was a short, uneventful recording. I did the entire pit in less than 2 hours.
I thought it was going to be like an hour and a half.
I said that was my guess. Oh, booyah.
Yeah, 109 out of 124.
16. Trying to think.
Red.
Wait. I know what it is. I know what it is. That's why I'm looking for any holes. And I'm trying to remember, like, I shouldn't be missing anything, but I am. Hold on. I'm probably gonna sit here before ending.
Because 41 is Bowser, I think I have an idea as to what that is.
I have 2 ideas. Hold on. Well, stop in a minute. I'm just making sure I have.
Because of the enemies, like I said before, the enemies work in sets. Like Goombas are around the regular Goombas, so. So if you're missing something and you have other similar types of enemies, that's...
I'm just gonna use the online bestiary, make sure, even if I don't immediately, directly in the video say what it is, I'm just making sure I have what I need.
Like, oh, we somehow missed Paratroopers, even though I swear we got those on the first run through.
Yeah, it's what I thought it was.
Like I said, it's next to Bowser, so that should be rather obvious.
Yeah, I'm making damn sure. God. It's just to make absolutely damn sure, because otherwise... What?
Yes.
And those 93 and 94 should be that other thing. I'm just making sure. Because if I miss something that we walk past, like chippering assholes, I'm gonna... awkwardly need to backtrack, but I'm pretty sure that's what I think it is. I'm making sure I'm not insane before we end. Because otherwise, there's a big problem, and I've missed something. And that would be bad. I'm pretty sure I know exactly what that is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know what those are.
No, I know. Wait. Fuck. I'm turned into word vomit. It's exactly what I thought it was. It's an enemy type that's in the in game.
It's an enemy type that's in the last chapter that's actually not in the pit. So the number 100. Oh, that's obvious. Again, when you know what it is. Because of what it is literally sandwiched between.
Yep. Okay. 108. I'm just making sure. If we're on pace, that's what I'm just trying to make sure. 108, 108, 108. Yeah. So I need 108, 109, and then 112. I'm pretty sure I know what those are, though. 107. 107. Okay. 108 is what I thought it was. 109 is what I thought it was. So then, yeah. 112, 13, 14. So that should all be exactly what I think it is. 112 is. 113 is. 114 is. 115 is. 116 is. And then 118 should be what I think it is. 118 is what I thought it was. And then we're missing 120 and 124. I'm just making 120 is what I thought it was, which should leave only one thing. Hold on. We're done. Okay, I mean we're not done, but okay. But
everything.
I have missed nothing.
We have missed nothing because it's
we went back
and
got
a bunch of stuff that is actually surprisingly not in the pit, not counting the bosses.
It's bosses and a couple of weird enemies that are in the end game.
Though then again, the stuff that's not in the pit, it makes sense that it's not in the pit when you sit there and think about it.
Actually, hold on. Before we end, because I can summarize something, and it's really fucking funny, I might end up reading these later. I just don't want to pay a bunch of money for these. But I can summarize them because it's
have to pay a bunch of money for a lot of other shit.
Exactly. I can summarize these, though I might read them later or just put the text on screen. Like, this person sells lore stories. It's extra lore. And as we're getting near the end game with all the plot twists revealed, basically, the Shadow Queen ruled the land 1,000 years ago, and the area she ruled from was behind the 1,000-year door. 4 heroes tried to stop the Shadow Queen by gathering the crystal stars, because the crystal stars did not, like, distinguish good or evil. They are just objects that can be used. The heroes use the crystal stars to seal the Shadow Queen. But when sealing the Shadow Queen, she put a curse on the 4 heroes. Those 4 curse chests are the 4 heroes.
Yes.
And to what's funny with what Carson said, because I wanted to come over here, there's actually a in-lore explanation of why certain enemies aren't in the pit.
Yes.
The Shadow Queen would punish people by throwing them in the pit. And that's why it's only, like, naturally occurring things. Because it was her punishment. That's why there's no X-Nauts down there.
Yes, they're too new.
And the funny messed up thing, Bonetail is a bone dragon, because Bonetail would exist to keep people from escaping at the end, but so few people that made it down there could survive.
Wow, the pit is bullshit even in the game's lore.
Bonetail starved to death. Bonetail is a bone dragon. Bonetail used to be alive, but Bonetail starved because Bonetail couldn't eat because no one could...
Wow, like I said, it's even bullshit in the game's lore.
No, the actual lore behind the heroes and
Also,
stuff.
they sell you lore. What are they, mob games?
We need to stop.
Yes.
Well, just because I am trying to make this more coherent.
Though because of that, if I remember correctly, I can't remember if this is stated, the 4 heroes, one of them was a Goomba, and I believe one of them was a Toad.
No, they say what they are. And they state how they sort of got the shit going, and the 4 heroes ended up cursed. They became the treasure chests. It's cool lore, I'm just not gonna sit there and pay for it. Well, we beat the pit, and I think I have everything else I need. So.
Like I said, the only things that would be left
is cooking that I can't do.
Or, again, going around and getting a bunch
if we're doing cooking.
No, not just the cooking, like I said, the badges.
No, if you want me to do cooking, I can't finish it.
So, we're just gonna
because there's an item in the far outpost that can be used in recipes.
So we're just gonna wait on that.
Yeah.
So I guess we're just up then.
Basically. And because I went through the pit, I don't actually need the tattles in the far outpost area.
Meaning you can just bump attack through there.
I have the Ice Piranha and the Ice Puff. I think that was the only enemies in the...
Considering how the stuff in the paint, like, the stuff in the Tattle log that was filled in, that tells me yes, because if there was something around, like, you know, Ice Piranha or whatever...
No, everything else we'll post.
Everything else added up.
Like a half recording, that's fine. Also kind of sweaty anyway.
So we can stop.
Oh, stop in a second. And I'm only stopping because that way I can make the next thing the actual chapter.
Because, oh god, we're at that chapter now.
Yes.
Are you ready for the most padded part of the game?
Now, with the bump attack, that's less of an issue, but that's literally because I went through...
Literally went to hell and back.
Oh, stop in a second, man. No, but like, seriously, though, you'll notice with just 50 points, well, a little bit over 50 attack, even Bonetail, kerchunk, 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 kerchunk. I have enough attack to basically absolutely shred the end of this game. What?
There's like one thing, as the internet does through either emulator or Dolphin codes. A lot of people have codes that make the game harder. If you're going to use those, that's the only time you need.
Really won't True Danger, but I'm only stopping to keep consistency. That
like
way,
someone in a video, because they had something that increased enemies' health based on what they had. Bonetail had 440 HP.
The thing is, though, next time that would just be a clean cut through the chapter, and that just makes the recordings more consistent. Hey, I said we could probably wipe out the pit in like an hour and a half-ish. Now, 10 minutes of wasted recording that nobody knows about other than the fact that I brought it up because I had to stop.
Okay.
We can end. That went fine.
Yes.
I think I did okay. What?
Bonetail didn't even get to move. Which I
absolutely...
Which that's the one problem with... That's the one problem with it, like... There's the one small problem I do have with, like, danger and stuff, is you don't really get to see certain...
Yes, but...
Well, also because of them being Bonetail...
Actually, wait. Hold on. I wanted to say... Hold on. Let me, damn it. Because we skipped it, I wanted to go back. Hold on. I'm going back to that bestiary. I'm going to go back to Bonetail. And I'm going to read something. Because I'm sitting here, and it's what I wanted to confirm, because I don't remember what does what before we go, and this is important. Okay, there's Bonetail. I wanted to read the attacks, because this the way that this works... No, we will end, but I need to just say this. Then I'll probably... Alright. Also, just gonna save again. Okay. I saved! So now, I can sit here, I can say this, and then we can go. Alright. Bone tail. Okay. This. Dangerous breath, 8 damage, piercing. Okay. It is... This is what I wanted to... The breath... The dangerous breath is a piercing attack, and the color... White is sleep, green is confusion, purple is shrunk, blue is frozen. Motherfucker! The HP threshold is heals 20 HP twice.
So their actual HP is technically 240?
Yes.
That is bullshit.
And then you have an 8 attack stomp and an 8 attack chomp. Those are not piercing. The breath is piercing. And my only screw up in that entire thing was being an idiot and forgetting how much... I thought it was just 1 or 2 damage. I forgot it was like 10. The counter I could have... It's fine though. So, with that out of the way, I read that. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait. And I actually forgot about something with Bone Tail. Teehee. I said 1 defense, but it was actually 2. I forgot it was 2. I thought it was 1, but I still buffered over. It's fine.
Yeah.
I still had enough. It's fine. I did it. It's okay. I forgot it was 2. Bone Tail has 2 defense and a base 8 attack. But then you have the piercing, and the stomp and the bite attack are not piercing. It was 2 defense. Okay, so let me reiterate something, and then I can stop. Bone Tail, because of the 2 defense, if you're doing the danger the way I'm doing it, you need to buffer over 50 with a margin of 2. So like Carson said, minimum of 55 just to be right in that range, because if we were under 50, I couldn't have beat him in 4 hits. But with the 2 simplifiers, I was able to get 5 jumps. The more under 50 you are, the more you need like an extra jump. But the 2 simplifiers helps a lot. But with all of that said, I need to stop. I'm going to end. I already saved. I'm just going to cut the game off. This has been the Pit of 100 Trials, or as I jokingly said at the beginning, the Pit of 100 Mild Inconveniences. So, I hope you all enjoyed this set of videos. Next time will be Chapter 7. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, this is a bit of a special question since I didn't really have a full topic to talk about related to the video. So, without further ado, now that Microsoft has basically announced their increased prices across the board, and with the looming fear of Sony increasing their prices in America, if any of you live in America like we do, and you were someone that was somewhat criticizing the Switch 2 for its prices, do you now think the Switch 2 is more reasonable, or are you still mad because a lot of people were saying that the Switch 2 was overpriced when compared to the other consoles, but now that Microsoft have increased their prices in America and Sony will likely do the same, all of a sudden the Switch 2 is likely going to be the cheapest console on the market, because it seems like Sony and Microsoft will both be more expensive across the board. And I don't want anyone to blame Nintendo for Microsoft and Sony increasing their prices. Now is not the time for that type of discussion. This is just a general question about your common opinion on the price increases, and if you now think that the Switch 2 is a far better value, because it seems like Microsoft and Sony will likely be way more expensive than the Switch 2, meaning it will be the budget console again, because a lot of people said it was too close in price, even though a lot of people also said the console was fine, and the Mario Kart being 80 was a problem, and Nintendo selling their games for 70 was a problem, and a few of their Switch 2 edition games being 80 was a problem. But now, with other price increases looming overhead, Nintendo looks a lot more reasonable. And I think this is hilarious because so many people will begrudgingly need to acknowledge if Microsoft and Sony both increase prices in America, that Nintendo will basically be a good option, because now getting into the Xbox and PlayStation ecosystems will cost you a lot more, meaning people that never jumped ship to their consoles might look at the Switch 2 as the cheapest available option. And this is hilarious to me because I thought this might happen, and a lot of people basically thought it wouldn't happen. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and ramble, and I'm not going to sit here and gloat. I just think we need to account for the price changes, because this makes the Switch 2 seem a lot more reasonable, and then the Switch 2 will basically be the budget option. But anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments. Or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.